A very warm welcome this afternoon. It's Wednesday, the 23rd of September. It is about 8 minutes past four, so our apologies for being. For the water there. Very, very dry still here in Africa. We did, in certain areas, have a little bit of rain actually in some areas. A nice little downpour of rain last weekend. For a space of time and localized, but in those areas where the rain did fall, we have seen a definite change in the vegetation, and there is rain forecast for the next few days as well. So we're crossing fingers for that. Not forecast, and these zebras particularly enjoying cooling down the nice and your thoughts, any other sort of conservation topics you'd like to discuss? Casper's third ghost, good afternoon to you. Looking forward to the show with you have a cold water. I also have cold water, Casper's third ghost. It is a tried and tested hydration effort, certainly. Hello to Andy as well, saying good afternoon. Have a wonderful. It's not my fault today. Thank you, Andrew. Andy, we will do exactly that. Hello to Jean Gale as well. Good morning to you. You're near Seattle. Forest fires, smoke have crept over the mountain, so you have coffee and bad smoke today. I'm sorry to hear that, Jingle. I hope the forest fires are not too extreme. It's also fire season here in southern Africa, so we're on a fairly strict no open fires everywhere. The bushes tinder dry as we await those first rains, but we wish you all the best there near Seattle. Hello, DNC, also from Seattle. You're looking forward to the show with your coffee, MG leopard spots from a warm, I assume, California. You have also some iced water. I'll be a healthy bunch today. The zebras and the elephants have room temperature water or hot water, I would imagine. These little bodies of water that are just standing in the baking sunlight do get very, very warm at times, but the animals don't care. Any form of hydration is a good form of hydration this time of year. But interesting, these ellies are just sort of mingling around. Nobody really seems to be dust bathing. Nobody's having a drink. They're obviously having a meeting of minds. But nice to see such a big group, a lot of big adults in there as well. It looks like a big bull wandering through the middle. You can see him towering above the rest in that rather dome-shaped forehead, but not a musting elephant bull, looking to hope to get lucky. I don't see any evidence of streams of temporal fluid down from his temporal glands behind his eye. So maybe just an older male who has dispersed, but maybe has just come back for a little bit, perhaps drawn to the water, with resource availability being a little bit scarce at the moment. I got a nice whiff of a musting elephant bull last night. I'm actually coming to you from the Sabi San at the moment in the reserve there. I'm doing some astronomy training at one of the lodges. And we were out on the airstrip last night under beautiful clear skies, I have to say, for this time of year, um, discussing African star lore and mythology and looking at telescopes. And I suddenly got two pungent nostrils full of elephant musk, which has a very, very distinct, acrid, sweet, sour sort of smell. Its smell is very difficult to describe. Um, but quickly we put the lights on and had a look around. I was slightly concerned my telescope equipment was going to get trampled, but we saw no sign of the elephant. It must have just been carried on the breeze. But it is, once you've smelt it once, you'll never forget the smell of a musting bull elephant. All right, but this has been a lovely start. Some reflections of zebras and milling elephants. I think we are going to head down to Madikwe and go to Tau Lodge and see what's happening there. Ah, we have a bird. Now I think this is this juvenile night heron that we've been seeing here. It's definitely changed, assuming it is the same one from the last time that I've seen him. Is beginning to develop some different coloration. But how lovely it is to have these cameras where we can actually follow the progress of some of these youngsters, like the black eagle, who I believe now has fledged and left the nest and is doing his own thing. I'm not sure if we've seen him recently, but I know he has had his first flight. So always interesting to watch these animals grow up. This one learning how to groom itself, looking a little bit scraggly. Speaking of birds, hello to April Owl. Good morning from a cloudy Connecticut, and you have some cherry iced tea. And I'm glad to know that you are happy to be here. We're happy to have you here, April Owl. I'm glad you could join us. And thank you, Jean Gale, for your thank you for your thanks for our rain. So it was very, very localized. Where I am at the moment, they had some good rains. There were puddles, and the little seasonal dams still have some water in now a week later. Yet they were saying to me that ironically, maybe 3 kilometers up the road, they didn't have a drop. So very localized rain, but hopefully the start of much to come. I shall look forward to seeing this youngster develop his full adult plumage. Will look very, very different. I have no concept of how long it actually will take, or how long it does take for a night heron to develop its full adult plumage. Um, but you can see he's sort of somewhere in that interim period. He's got like crazy teenager hair, hasn't quite decided what he's going to do with it yet. All those feathers not quite locking together the way that they will when everything is set. But lovely striations you can see there, lovely patterning. Of course, that's very, very normal on young birds, particularly ground birds. But when they are young, they have this very cryptic coloration just to help them blend in with their surroundings. But this one's got himself a lovely little spot tucked into the. I'm not quite sure what flowers or what plant this is. It looks like it might be some sort of alien vegetation that's growing next to the dam, but it looks like a nice, safe spot for this heron to groom itself, or to preen itself, I should say. Hello, Bridget McKinney, as well. Very glad to hear you could also join us. Very large eye that you can see as well, which of course is in keeping with the night heron. Important to have good night vision, big, large eyes with a very, if you like, a very low f-stop, if you like your camera and photography, letting lots and lots of light in, enabling the retina and the optic nerve to get as much information as possible. Me. Hello to Ozanegro as well. You have a black coffee to keep yourself warm at 12 degrees Celsius in southwest British Columbia. That is quite chilly, but could be a lot worse. And here are some other birds. These look like cattle egrets. To see some of the orange on the top of the head. The males beginning to develop some of that summer plumage now. Karu, thank you. You just informed me that the black eagle or the Varro's eagle fledgling has been back every day. So obviously beginning to find his wings, as it were, his or her wings, and start going on little forays, get their exercise going, like going to the gym, practice flight that is going to be so important during its later life. But apparently today is a preening day. Everybody having a good clean. But very important, keep those feathers in good condition, make them nice and efficient for flight, and to control the buildup of any of those ectoparasites. I'll have to check with egrets, but I'm assuming egrets are like herons in that they don't have a what we call a preen gland or a uropygial gland at the base of their tail that secretes that oil to help keep everything nice and streamlined. I'm guessing they also have powder down feathers, which are found on the chest, which are continuously growing feathers that sort of break up and form a little like a antiseptic talcum powder that then is coated through the feathers, but still does the same thing, keeps parasites at bay and keeps those feathers in good, firm condition. And it's something I would think these cattle egrets have to do quite well because white is not a strong color. Melanin, the pigment that gives us black coloration in feathers and in fur and everything else, is quite a strong pigment. And it's not unusual to see larger birds have black tips to all of their wings, particularly their flight feathers, because you don't want those degrading over time. Herons, of course, or egrets and herons, not known for massive flights, so perhaps not so important, but a very good reason to keep one's feathers in good condition. Mindy Tilpow, you're saying what creatures would prey on these herons? Well, I'm guessing, again, I don't know of a specific danger that they face, but crocodiles, I'm sure, maybe other birds of prey, maybe some of the small nocturnal predators as well, maybe even a snake, but I don't think they've got any specific predators. Okay, we are going to try one of our other cameras. Let's see what else we can find. Okay, we have headed down to Stony Point. It's definitely a bird day today. We have an African penguin taking a little wander down the rocks, enjoying the view, and what looks like a white-breasted cormorant sitting there with his wings outstretched, probably recently been for a dive on a little bit of a hunting trip. And they don't have those lovely waterproof feathers because they want to be able to go under the water. So they want to be a little bit saturated so that they can swim to deep depths. But that does mean you have to dry yourselves out using slightly more conventional methods. Comes another one, a smaller one. So most likely a Cape cormorant. You can definitely see the size difference. But those little man-made railings, I say, are the perfect drying out spot after a trip into the ocean. And isn't it lovely just to see the rippling of the water there and the crashing of the waves? Always very therapeutic, very different experience from being in the bush, but visiting these different biomes, these different ecosystems, I think we all pull something slightly different but equally beautiful from all of them. I recently spent a day up in one of the indigenous forests close by here on a bit of a forest guiding learning day, which was fascinating. Learned some new trees up there, saw hundreds of butterflies, and a really beautiful energy coming off the forest. Okay, I think we are going to head up to or down or across to Founders Lodge. Sorry, no, we're going to go to Tau, back to Tau. So nice to have a quick little bit of a glance at the ocean. But we have some zebras enjoying a drink with a couple of spoonbills also having a preen. Everybody's preening. It's definitely World Preening Day today. That zebra facing us, looking as if she may well be rather pregnant. She's looking quite rounded. See that belly hanging low. Of course, zebras do give birth throughout the year, but they will, like pretty much all herbivorous animals, peak during the summer season in anticipation of those rains. That's always the best part of summer. If you can put up with the stifling heat and humidity, you get bursts of color in the bush, flowers come out, hundreds of different shades of greens and avocado everywhere you look. And what the best part, little baby animals running around. It'll soon be time for baby impalas, baby wildebeests. My personal favorite are the baby warthogs. I always look forward to seeing those every year. And of course, with that comes a wealth of opportunity for the resident predator population as well. Nice to see the little blacksmith lapwing also. Well, rather being having a preen, but being rather swamped by the size of those spoonbills gives you a good idea of their sense of scale or their size. Plenty of Egyptian geese foraging around in the water also. I have to say I was fortunate enough to see an African cuckoo hawk not that long ago. First one of those I've seen for a very, very long time. So it's always nice when you find a rogue bird that you haven't seen for a long time. Of course, we're very much looking forward to the return of the migrants, many of whom are back already. The Wahlbergs are back, the kites are back, the swallows are back, more and more returning. I see the weavers are beginning to develop well, the male weavers at least, beginning to develop those breeding colours now. Okay, we're going to leave these Egyptian geese to their foraging, and we're going to head back up to Bots to Muella, where we have some elephants. And zebra. Plenty. Wow, that's a desolate wasteland at the moment. It looks like a backdrop after some sort of Armageddon moment. All these animals clustered around a little muddy puddle. Concentric circles, elephants in the epicenter, and then concentric circles of zebras all waiting their turn and their opportunity. These all look like bulls. So watching these two on the left, just having a little bit of a hierarchical discussion, I think. But so I always love watching these big groups of bulls around a concentrated water source like this. It really gives you a great opportunity to watch behavior and watch the interactions between individuals and try and understand the pecking order, as it were. See everybody queuing up at that far end of that little trough there, which is obviously where the inflow pipe is. All the elephants clamoring to get the cleanest, freshest water. You very much get a sense these zebras are becoming a little bit impatient, slowly inching towards the water, but nobody quite willing to get in the middle of this 20 or 30 tons worth of thirsty elephant. Ooh, one's coming closer. Yeah, maybe a little bit scary still. Let's get the sense this one at the back is standing guard, sort of daring the zebras to come down and try and quench their thirst. All the rings of elephant tracks around the puddle as well. Very textured pattern that we've got in the sand there, all those circles. These zebras seem to have resigned themselves that they may have to drink out of the small muddy puddle. I don't think there's going to be an opportunity for a while. And there's wildebeest just quickly getting out of the way of the reversing elephant as well. Right, seems like it's turning into a day of elephants. We have some more at Meno Aquena. So let's head over there and have a look. Oh, the youngster having a little bath or a shower. Like the way he's just minding his own business. Young bull, plenty of confidence, so long as the other ones are not too far away. Quite happy having a little bit of a splosh around and a bit of a drink while the others vaguely harass some zebras. Here comes his partner in crime. Another little youngster there as well. I'm assuming this will be Mum in tow, just doing a little bit of chaperoning. Hope these two interact a little bit. There we go, a little trunk touch. Always beautiful to see that little tactile communication. Oh, and a little head rub to boot. These slow, deliberate footsteps of that big cow. There's something very therapeutic about watching an elephant walk towards you, those huge feet tracing paths that thousands of elephants have trodden before them. It always makes you wonder where they've been and what they've seen. Okay, let's head down to the Eastern Cape to Founders Lodge. More zebras having a drink. It's always such beautiful light here at Founders. That orange soil, obviously very iron rich, always really sings in the light off this camera. Also looks like another pregnant female zebra. Often can be quite difficult to tell because even a non-pregnant zebra is rather rotund, but that is just because of the bacterial fermentation, but she is heavily pregnant. As I say, even a male zebra looks a little bit, dare I say, chunky, just because of the gas that is produced as the byproduct of that bacterial fermentation in the cecum after the stomach. Particularly beautiful markings on the younger one on the right, more contrasty than the one on the left, which leads me to assume until I see otherwise that this is probably a male. Very difficult to explain why, but I always feel that males have a sharper contrast between the blacks and the whites of their stripes than the females do. if there's not some young grass coming through. You can see they're feeding, it looks like certainly the one on the left, very, very close to the ground. And maybe some young shoots coming through. It was nice. I was in Kruger the other day to see an area where they'd burnt, and there obviously has been a little bit of rain, and there's this beautiful green flush just beginning to come through. From a distance. It looks like somebody has spray painted. Oh, hello, water. Spray painted the area with a green paint, and there were plenty of zebra, wildebeest, impala, other plains game benefiting from that new growth. A lovely injection of carbon into that area after the burn, the reduction of moribund and dry grass and dead grass that may make it more difficult for seeds to germinate. And always lovely to see that fresh green against the blackened, sort of charcoaly, burnt areas. And also saw a cheetah, I have to say, whilst I was there as well. A long distance visual of it, but not every day you get to see a cheetah in the park. So that was very, very special. But obviously more food up there than we can see. They seem to be very happy cropping grass up there. It looks like a nice breeze blowing. It's actually relatively cool here today in South Africa. So the weather is changing over the next few days. We had a cloudy start today, and so there is heavy cloud forecast from tomorrow, and say the potential of rain. But let's go to the hide. Sounds like we've got some more birdie words to have a look at. Ah, beautiful saddle-billed stork. One of my favorite birds. This is such a regal looking creature. This is the male, and we can see he's the male. Look at those very, very distinct, bright, almost fluorescent yellow eyes. Sorry, this was the female with the fluorescent yellow eyes. My apologies. The male has the darker eyes. So one of the best ways that you can sex a saddle-billed stork from a distance, those eyes very, very distinctive. And you can certainly see where the name saddle-billed stork comes from. And that black stripe, they are very, very striking when you do see them out in the field with the yellow and the red and the black. What are you looking for in there? I wonder if he's poking around trying to disturb little fish and little aquatic organisms that are hiding in the root structure of all of that grass. Ah, is that the other one of the pair? It is lovely to see a pair. You so often see just one individual. They are considered endangered here in southern Africa. Ah, I think we're going to quickly head over to Onuma. And we have some lions. Oh, this is amazing. Oh, look at this big, beautiful male, very pale mane that he's got. And a young female. My assumption here would be we have some mating going on. You can see the female is always being rather flirtatious with her tail. Male looks as if he's just getting a whiff to see if there is the correct pheromones. And he looks nice and full as well. I think this is the first time I've had lions on the Africam show, so this is very nice. And to see them drinking, look at that as a photographer's dream. Absolutely spectacular. He's a big boy as well. Funny, sort of almost stunted mane and very, very blonde. Don't see any hint of black, which is unusual for a Namibian lion. Huge skull, huge head. Oh, this has made my day. What a treat. I hope everybody is enjoying this as much as I am. And to see them drinking like this, so beautiful. Look at the muscles in that foot on the left there, or his left, our right, bracing himself. You can see all the muscles rigid and taut in there. I saw a slow motion video the other day of dogs and cats drinking and hadn't realized how they actually scoop up the water. I kind of always assumed they, when we say lap it up, that they sort of flick it up with their tongue, but they actually almost hook their tongue underneath their chin, forming a little basket, and scoop the water up into the mouth on the underside of the tongue, which makes perfect sense. But I'd never actually considered it before I happened to randomly see the video that showed it happening in super slow mo. And it's amazing to see the way that that tongue sort of contorts itself. And yeah, it scoops like bucket out of a well and just carries it up into the mouth. Not the most efficient way of drinking, as you can see. These two have been frantically lapping water for the last minute or two. But you never know when the next opportunity is going to come. Thank you, Amber CO. I'm glad you're enjoying the show today. Thank you for joining us. So, without all of you watching and being privy to these beautiful scenes, we wouldn't be doing what we do. So, thank you, Amber, and all of you watching today. And so, I hope this is just reward for tuning in. She's beautiful as well, actually. Look at the different colors, the lighter fur around the eyebrows, and look at the symmetry on her face as well. It just looks very smooth and velvety. Jive Bunny, you're saying beautiful lion color. I agree. So not what I expect in a Namibian lion. You normally expect to see dark manes from the genetic lineage from that area, but he is a strong looking boy. Andy, you're saying you see another male behind them. I'll take your word for it, Andy. I was so busy watching these incredible views that I didn't think to look behind them. So if you say there is at least a third lion, then spectacular. Is that something lying in the acacia there behind them? I do maybe see something behind her rump now. Good spot, Andy. That is the case. It just shows we need to look everywhere, not get too focused on one thing. And we're all very guilty of doing that, particularly when looking down the camera lens, taking your 900th photo of the sleeping lion. You forget to look around and miss the lion that's walking right past the car. We've all been there. But both very, very thirsty. Actually, looks like it's an overcast day out there in Onuma as well. But say, maybe these two have been busy, but they have also obviously recently fed. You can see by the size of his belly, and lions will typically drink water after they have fed. It just helps with the digestive processes. Zygote, you're saying, is there a leg injury possibly on the male's leg? We can't quite see it now out of shot. It did look like there could be like a little nick taken out of it, but I really don't think it's anything to worry about. There, that sort of dark mark, whether that is a scar of something. I certainly didn't notice him limping at all. So if it is, I think it's an old and relatively healed little scratch on that front leg. Andy, I think you're right. That does indeed look like a male lion behind, just behind the acacia there. Looks like some mane just blowing in the wind. Good spot, Andy. Thank you for that. I wonder how many more are here. I think I'd have taken about 1 million photographs by now in the hope that one of them, just one of them, was in focus and got perfect eye contact. But where I am at the moment, I purposely have not brought my camera because I've decided that for the couple of days that I'm here, I'm just going to enjoy the sights and the sounds and not get too caught up in trying to get the perfect photograph, which we all know does not exist. But she's a spectacular looking lioness. Very, say, velvety looking fur. Maybe it's just the light, slightly muted light. But she almost looks like it's got a shimmer to her fur. And say, beautiful coloration, lighter areas and darker areas. Right, progressively, everybody. I think that's about it from me. So I hope you've enjoyed the show. Thanks so much for joining us. It has been an absolute pleasure, and what a finish to have these two beautiful lions and the sneaky one in the background. Thank you again, Andy, for that. But thanks everyone for joining. Thanks for your questions, your comments. I hope you've enjoyed these views as always. And I'm sure I will catch up with you in the near future. But have a wonderful day, everybody, and we will see you soon.